to another weekly MSI demo. This one is going to be a bit special, because this week we have finally published the 1.12 beta packages, which are available for download and for usage, well, for those who like using betas. And today I'd like to start with with a quick recap of the release scope and what has been done, and maybe giving a word to everyone who has done any major work in the scope of this release. So I'll share my screen. Second. So the release consists of multiple features, which are already documented on the release notes, and release was focusing mainly on the bug fixing and improvement of performance, but a few nice features were included anyway. So one of the nice one is partial stock transfer API, which is designed to transfer not all of the inventory from source to source, but just selected items. So then we have Reservation CLI, which was implemented by actually two teams, because Mage Specialist started working in it, but then Vadim took over and done quite a lot of work on that front as well. Performance-related improvements for source selection algorithms, and the next big one is the GraphQL support, some UI improvements, and a really big feature, the expert stock service, which was developed by Stepan, and it allows to export stocks to, for example, to third-party sales channels. So some of them will have a quick recap today, just to make sure everybody are on the same page. So we also have some documentation published on the dev docs and both on the MSI wiki, which is devoted to the upgrading to this beta version. And the upgrade is pretty straightforward for those still using 2.3.0. It's just requiring a new version, which is currently published as 1.12 beta 2. For those who are using 2.3.1 Magento, unfortunately, it's locked to the 1.1.1 version of MSI, but you still can use an inline alias to install it on top, and as we see currently, it's pretty much compatible. So we don't expect any major issues with both 2.3.0 and 2.3.1. The upcoming 2.3.2 release would include the new MSI version and would be fully supported in that combination. You may find additional documentation on the MSI Slack channel, and I think it was also tweeted by Lori, but we have quite a lot of docs related to the release specifically, and to the APIs which already exist or introduced in the scope of the release. So now I'd like to proceed with the quick recap of the features, and the first feature will be recapping would be the Reservation CLI, and Vadim will share some insights into that for us.
Yeah, thank you. So guys, since I have to leave a little bit earlier probably today, I asked Eugene to put me in front. And don't wonder if I leave a little bit earlier. So yes, the reservations CLI is about especially detecting inconsistencies in reservations and create compensations. So everybody of you would typically ask why there could be inconsistencies, because MSI is perfect. It is, but there are still some cases, for example, like if, for example, a merchant reassign the sales channel to another stock, but there are still incomplete orders there, which will be completed on the new stock. So the compensation reservations would be made for the new stock, and still missing in the old one. And in the same way, there are missing the previous reservation on the new stock he assigned to the sales channel. Also, if we migrate from a Magento 2.2 to a Magento 2.3 version, for example, and enable MSI for orders which we migrate from the previous system, which are still not complete, there are still missing reservations, so we need to detect them and create compensations. So these are just a few cases how this can happen. Probably also with some issues, if there are some, who knows. Yeah, and therefore we create a CLI. First of all, I think Ricardo and Alexander, I don't know who was involved there, create the CLI which show all the given inconsistencies. And there is also option to return a raw output of the CLI tool, and this raw output can also be used to provide this information to the second tool, which creates the compensations. And by pipelining both tools, you can use the whole mechanism, but can also use each of them by their own. So that's it from my side, I think. Any questions or?
Thank you very much, Vadim. Since nobody has a questions, I've left a link to the documentation in the chat for this call. Actually, Laurie already prepared quite a big doc regarding the both CLI commands which are doing the reservation magic. So you can read on that and figure out if something isn't clear. So thank you very much, Vadim. I hope you will be adding some more nice features and fixing one small bug, I think, which we had in the reservation CLI in the scope of next release. But now we're going to continue, and I would like to introduce Stepan, who would tell us about stock export. And I see we also have Priya on the call, who was, I suppose, one of those interested in this feature. So please take a look closely and maybe let us know if you have questions. Stepan?
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Eugen. And just let me a couple of seconds, I'll figure out how to share my screen here. Yep, just inform me when you be able to see my screen, guys.
Works, yeah, works.
Okay, good. So yeah, I created inventory stock module for providing ability to import inventory stock. So during implementation, we faced with some problems. Some problems related to performance. So if we use usual Magento API, get is sellable quantity, get is product is sellable, and get is sellable product quantity services from MSI. So it turns out that this stock is really slow. So right now I have, as you can see, I have a small profile here installed with my current Magento website, and as you can see, this 1200 of products was done in more than in 1 minute. So, and it's just not so much products here. With the medium profile, we have even more. Second, I'll just scroll down to show you the quantity. Yeah, so we have just like this. So yeah, and we decided to implement separate endpoint for just dumping stock index data from inventory, stock, and number of stock. And yeah, and we faced with several problems related to that the base inventory stock table is not truly table, it's a view, and it turns out that its behavior a little bit different from the stock inventory stock second or third, because it's real tables and it's like indexes, but the inventory stock first is the real view from the legacy stock tables. And it turns out that there are some different results in some specific requests. And recently we fixed everything, and right now we have something like that. So we decided that for configurable product, we will not return quantity. We only return if it's sellable at all. For its products, for its simples products, they don't take into account that it's configurable product. It's just configurable option, which is simple in real. And yeah, and we return here quantity and if it's sellable or not. And yeah, if it's out of stock, you can see that it's no, it's quantity the 0 and out of stock. There are quantity 0 and is not sellable. If it's just quantity 0, it's both quantity 0 and is sellable false. And if it's just out of stock, then we'll return. Wait a second. Some mistake here. Maybe I didn't save this product. I think I have this is wrong window. Yeah, that's it. So let me check. Wait a second. Let me check. Yep. Looks like I didn't save this product with AutoStock. Just renamed the SKU. Yeah, I didn't save this. Out of stock and save and close. Yep, let's check again. Yeah, that's it. So you can see that out of stock simple product returns false. Hey, and and we have here one of the differences between two of these endpoints, which is export stock sellable quantity and dump stock index data, not the source. This is only differentiated by the request type here, because in this request we are able to inject some search criteria and like here return particular products, but in stock index data we just only insert here website code. By the way, we decided to change this website code to sales channel code to be able to replace if you will support in future different types of sales channels, not only websites. And yeah, it's in the future we will replace it and cover everything by the integration test. Yeah, that's it. As you can see also that dump stock index data endpoint is request is much faster. It runs about more than half of a second. It's much faster than another one. We call this one is turtle and it's rabbit. Yeah, that's it. from my side. Maybe someone has any questions.
Question, Priya here.
Yeah, hi Priya.
Hi. Everything sounds good. Just a question I had. If there are products which are set to manage, not manage stock, what does this return for such products?
Yeah, it takes into an account that managed stock false or not. If I'm not mistaken, we will return zero with quantity and sellable true if we have no, we will return actually inserted quantity, and if managed stock false, then all time will be is sellable true. That's it.
Okay, so I can pass a quantity that I want to use for such products, right?
For such, what do you mean by
I mean,
such?
will the quantity be zero, or can I set like pass a parameter with a pre-configured quantity that I want to use for all such products? Either way, it works for me as long as is saleable is true and quantity is zero. I mean, I just need to be able to identify such products or be able to set a quantity that I want for such products.
The deal is that if you don't manage stock, you shouldn't care about the quantity. I'm not ready to answer this question because I actually don't remember what exactly will be here. I'm sure that if managed stock fall, then here will be true. But if you'll have, I believe if you will have some quantity, it also shows you a quantity. I can check it out and maybe connect you directly and provide the
Sure,
answer.
we can discuss it later, but that's a feature that I'm interested in. Thank you very much for all your work.
No problem. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. And on the note about the managed stock, I'm pretty sure that we at least discussed that it would be, in this case, configurable with the dependency injection. I am currently not sure if it was implemented that way, so Stepan will check and and will let us know. Thank
Sounds
you very
good.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So the next on the agenda is our MSI star, superstar. It's the fabulous Rick, who is actually today joining the call from Magento office in Austin, because he was really nice, and together with Alessandro and Marco, they came to Imagine 2 days earlier and visited us in Texas. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us, Rick. So I remember you have been working quite a lot on performance, and it would be really nice if you could recap on the source selection algorithm performance feature which you have implemented.
Yeah, sure. Well,
Thank
honestly,
you.
the main reason for coming here was the Texan barbecue. Than even imagine. But yeah, anyway, yes, I've been working on performance from different point of view, and what I will share is the source selection algorithm performance improvement. So let me share. Yeah, okay. So basically, it's a quite simple pull request, but very effective from the performance perspective. Basically, the main problem in source selection algorithm was in this class that basically was getting all the sources sorted by some condition that was a double for each nested loop with some MySQL queries. So it was quite heavy, both from PHP side and MySQL side. So what I decided to do is to first write a couple of tests to make sure my modification was not breaking anything. I know that sounds strange that I'm writing tests because everyone is joking about me that I'm not writing tests, but here you have the evidence that I did it. And once I wrote the test, basically I refactored that class by simply gathering all the information before, so basically modifying the MySQL approach and then running two separate for each loops, so it is no more nested loops, and seems to be more effective. And that's it. Of course, you will not see anything from the UI point of view. It's everything under the hood. And this is my small pull request.
Thank you, Rick. And there is always one thing you will see from the UI, that it at least works faster. So
yeah.
Thank you for your participation. So from the release recap, we also have Maxim Novik, who wanted to continue his story from one of the previous demo calls, where he talked about the pair programming. But since then, the pair programming turned into, I guess, quadruple programming or even more, as more and more people got involved in the task. So Maxim, please feel free to share your story.
Hi guys, I'm trying to share my screen. I succeeded, I hope.
Yeah, we can see it.
So, just to refresh, there was a bug marked as top 10 MSI bugs, but to be honest, there is much more than 10, but it's not important now. So, which was it started from? On Ukrainian contribution day, I and Vlad Podorozhny decided to fix this bug because Igor asked us. So one of us provided the fix, and the second one covered this fix with tests in parallel. But later we find out that many of tests just failed, and we should fix it because release is coming soon. So what happened? It's just a original issue. We have the first pull request, where all I described 30 minutes ago have been done. But we faced a problem because any of us had enough time for contribution, and Igor was forced to find someone to save the MSI. So our hero was Vitaly Boyko, which created a pull request to the existing pull request, fixed something, but he faced the same problem because not everything was fixed and he did not have enough time. And what happened then? Yes, of course, we created a new pull request to this pull request, the last one. And at the end, everything was merged. I will not talk about the technical details because the life is too short for that. To be short, there was a problem that stock status was not used to check if product is saleable. So there was a case when all the sources are disabled, but product is still in stock. And also we faced a problem that Magento backorders realized in MSI expected that even if source is disabled, so it's out of stock, it's okay to use backorders for this item. That is not correct. So it was something kind of experiment, but at the end, about 4 people fixed one issue in 3 separate pull requests, but with the same branch. So this was an interesting experience. Usually 9 women cannot board a child in 1 month, but this time we succeeded. And that's all, I believe.
Thank you, Maxim. I'm really happy that it's now ended because we couldn't continue submitting pull requests into pull requests. I had a lot of fun merging that chain of pull requests, but eventually it worked out. GitHub is pretty good at that. So I guess at this point we can complete our 1.1.2 release recap. And while 1.1.2 was in the process of releasing, we were also working on the next release, which I suppose will be 1.2.0. We expect the main feature to be the store pickup, and quite a lot of work has been done on that front in the meantime. And again, currently the top contributors are Maxim and Alexander, who are doing really a lot of work on that track, specifically introducing the backend and the APIs and a lot of stuff. And yesterday we also had a grooming session regarding the front end. And we had a grooming session regarding the front end for the store pickup. And we have one more team from Poland, and the guys are having some experience with the Magento's checkout, and they are wishing to implement the front end and actually use it in one of their projects. So now we are going to, I guess, double the efforts and maybe make it happen even much more quicker than we initially expected. But for now, we can recap what has happened on the store pickup in the last 2 weeks, and quite a lot of stuff happened. So first 2 items will be presented by Alexander. He has implemented quite a big pull request, which is devoted to introduction of a store pickup shipping method for Magento, which will be used for all of the store pickup orders, and also some of his updates for the source selection algorithm. I see that on the agenda I said that it's adaptation, and Alexander is currently writing me a personal message that it's not yet complete, but he will tell us more. So?
Yeah, thank you. I will try to share my screen. Yeah, okay. I will start from the first pull request, which was done. So this pull request is related to implementation of API endpoints and also API for a service, which can provide pickup locations. It includes 2 services. First, provide pickup location based on entered address. So it will provide the list of locations ordered by distance to the entered address. And the second is will provide just a list of pickup locations which related to entered stock and ordered by the same priority as ordered related sources. And in this pull request, with this pull request, I want to say thank you for the rig, for the great implementation of distance-based source selection algorithm, because with his implementation, it was really easy to include the logic working with geo position and finding right coordinates for the address. And thank you, Rick. And the second pull request is based on this pull request. So it contains the same changes and will be delivered just after the first one will be merged. This pull request is provide in store pickup shipping method and delivery method. I will show a short demo about this pull request. So here's admin panel. and I'm in stores configuration. I'm in sales delivery method, and here you can see there is in-store pickup delivery. In-store pickup delivery have a few options. Just enable, disabled price of delivery, handling fee, and handling type, also title and name. It is it. Also, this delivery method require that on a current sales channel or website, we need to have at least one source which will be used as a pickup location. So in my case, I have three sources which will be used as pickup location, and all of them are enabled. And I have two of them assigned to my custom stock, which is assigned to my custom website. So everything is custom. And here I am on this custom store view, which is assigned to the custom website. And I have my product. I'm adding it to the cart, and I'm going to visit checkout. Yeah, it seems not like on the mockups, but here we can see in store pickup delivery method. So I can just select it, and complete checkout after entering all this data. Yeah, I think it's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. It looks really nice. By the way, if you enter all the data and complete checkout, does it still work?
Yeah, it still works, but I want to just save time.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. This is a decent foundation to continue building the store pickup, and given that we have some people wanting to join the front-end track as well, they will already have something to build on. So the next on the agenda is Max Novik again, who I guess has another interesting story about the non-default sources orders with the store pickup. So Maxime, please tell us about it.
Okay, I'm trying to share my screen again. I succeeded, I believe. So, one day, one Ukrainian guy created a functionality for store pickup to notify customers that his order is ready for pickup and create a shipment to reserve the quantity. But there was a small problem which nobody noticed, is that the shipment was always Magento tried to create a shipment for the default source. So the source was not even given as argument at all. But by the fact we should use pickup location. It's something kind of obvious. So the problem was if the product we are trying to ship is not assigned to default source, we got a error message. So I just decided to, well, first of all, I was trying to adjust SSA step for the pickup orders, and I just found this bug doing the research. So what I've done is really simple. So previously, we were just creating a shipment, and now we do the same, but with parameters. So we set the source code to the shipment argument extension attribute, which we get from order, pickup location extension attribute. And this all by the fact. Just a small but important fix. one day I will cover this put fidelity by integration test if we need it. That's all. And I also want to say thank you to the Rick because I made research how to adjust the SSA, and I found this code written really well. So
You're welcome.
it's really comfortable to extend. That's all from my side for today.
Thank you very much, Max. You always have interesting stories, even if it's a bug fix, but it's always, you can even write a book or shoot a movie about it, I guess. So thank you very much. I think this is pretty much all of the updates on features, but another really important item, which, by the way, Max usually misses, is the tests. And as usual, as every demo, I'm passing the word to Tom, who will share the updates on MSI's quality and this time on the status of the regression testing for release 1.1.2, as it's still beta, so we're still doing some additional testing and bug fixing. So Tom,
Okay,
the stage is yours.
Thank you, Eugene. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, hopefully we've got PowerPoint up here, and let me begin it for this week's quality report. There we go. Great. Okay, quality snapshot then. So this is just an idea of where we are, what's going on without getting directly into figures. So as Eugene said, we have ongoing manual execution of that 1.1.2. We're looking at 6 failures discovered. 5 of those can be directly tied back to already known bugs, so they're in a way expect failures. And issue 2229 is under investigation as to whether it was previously fixed in a different branch or that's still valid. The manual scope itself has been altered, especially compared to previous regression cycles for this. So we've been focusing on new functionality, critical tests, and we've also made the effort to confine the manual testing to just manual testing. So we've cut it down from 200 the previous week. We're actually only covering 111 now in scope, and that's because we identified, what would that be, 89 of those that were covered by either MFTF or other automated testing, which shows we have, I mean, I wouldn't call it fantastic, but we have a good level of automated coverage that covers nearly half of what we want to do here. Also, during the week, we managed to increase MFTF coverage for credit memo scenarios where we did have previous bugs in previous releases. So we've been adding some test coverage in there, and we're looking for further test coverage next week. So that's sort of where we are right now. In terms of the automated testing that's been run, just to track where we are, so you can see the top blue line is the total number of tests, that is, as you'd expect, increasing week on week. Obviously, the not automated tests come up with that because all the tests defined are initially not automated until they are. And the grey line, you can see we've had a small bump in automated test numbers. We want to increase the velocity on that, but that'll be a process of community contribution to help bring that number up, especially as we do new feature development after this 1.1.2 release. We'll look at where we can actually get test contribution in line with feature contribution. This is our severity and component metrics. This will be out in the newsletter if you want to review where we're covering, but there's not a lot of change. The focus is in catalog and sales, as you'd expect. Then the manual testing that's been done as of today, this is sort of, again, catalog and sales of roughly similar proportions to our automated testing. But here where we are in terms of our ongoing execution. So right now, say we have the scope of 111. We're at 76 total completed, several work in progress, but actually run with the result is 76. So we're 70% of the way there. So we're maybe looking at a finish for this by next Friday, I would hope, but we will come back on there. As you can see, we have 4 fields in catalog, 2 fields in sales, but everything else is looking good. No critical bugs or anything raised right now. So for us, that's the end of the quality report. We could take questions. Otherwise, that's me done for the week. All righty.
Like we have no questions, so at this point I think we can wrap up this week's demo. Thank you very much everyone for attending, and I hope you have a great weekend. See you next
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Enjoy
all.
your barbecue.
Bye.
Bye bye.